Hello, welcome back. This is using DNA matches. This is part 3 of my series. This is what you see when you go into DNA matches. This is a list of your DNA matches in relationship order. This list could have also been sorted into showing you the latest first, the newest added. You get the unviewed. You could see just people that have a little blue circle here. That means that you haven't seen them. You could see just people that have a common ancestor. That's this little leaf down here. You could see just people that you've previously messaged. You could see just people that have notes down here. This is a note. You can view your notes here, but you can't edit them here. We're going to show you that later. And finally, trees. We can show people that just have private trees, just have public linked trees, or just have unlinked trees. And I really don't like people that have done this. They've created a public tree and they haven't linked their DNA to the tree. I could always figure out who you are anyway, but with the unlinked tree, I have to pay and buy an ancestry message besides having my DNA kit. I have to have a current active membership in order to see these. Please link your stuff to your tree if it's a public tree anyway. You see that this thing has 15,000 plus matches on my DNA kit. I could use a filter and just show close matches, just show distant matches, just show a custom range centimorgans. I recently had to do this in August 2020. They decided to lop off all of your 6 to 8 centimorgans from your matches unless you had a note on them, and I had a lot of people that proved my trees and common ancestors, so through and set this to 6 to 8, set a filter to common ancestors, and was able to put a note on all these people to preserve them. And finally, groups. We're going to be talking a lot about the Howard group later on. These are 42 people in this group. I could create a new custom group here, but most likely any place I see the words add and edit custom groups, I would click on the plus and create a custom group to my liking. I can name it anything. I get up to 24 custom groups. I will assign it a color, and there is my I can add people or remove people by simply checking and unchecking the box, and I could change the name of the group by clicking on the pencil and editing it, which I've done all down here because I didn't want you to see everybody I was related to. Okay. This is a set to just the Howards, and it's going to show me only people that have the orange Howard dot. Anytime I have a filter set, the little buttons will be gray, and I can hit the reset button to eliminate them all. And this search box over here is going to bring up these 3 boxes. I can search for a member name. I can search for a surname in a tree, which is the box that I'm going to always use. I certainly wish include similar surnames worked, but it doesn't do a decent job. And birth location in your matches trees, I tried to do that, but my people don't use birth location. I'm lucky if I've got the name. So those are some options that you can have. And one of the things people make the mistake of is just trying to search the databases at large. You really want to restrict this somehow, usually by using a family group if you're going to be searching for surnames. We're going to be talking about that more. Here's an example of having two filters at the same time. I've got all unviewed people that are distant matches that have the name Howard in the tree. That's a typical use of matches of these filters. Very restrictive, very helpful. And I don't know what was there. Okay. And so here's some examples of what you're going to see. This shows no trees. This shows unlinked trees. This shows a linked tree with common ancestor, a private tree with no common ancestor, a private tree with a common ancestor, stars, groups, notes, new. So hopefully you've got those. When you click on a person, you're going to get a match. This busy screen pops up. And we're going to look at the items. Here's where you do your color-coded match. Here's where you can add and edit a note. So you click on that little icon and you can type anything in there that you want. Down here is the tree. If you haven't been in your DNA matches since before 2019, this is new. You can see up to 4 generations on a PC, 3 on an iPad, again nothing on a phone. I don't know why they think people don't do Ancestry on a phone. I did almost 90% of my Ancestry on my phone until they started messing with the interface and breaking things, and they never go back and fix them. But this is a tree. It indicates that there's more to this tree, but as a non-member, I could only see this much. There's also the 7-generation pedigree chart. This is for members only. On the day that I did this, my sister couldn't see this link because she was not a member, so she didn't get this word. We're going to look at that for a minute. I get up to 7 generations of their tree because they had those little gray arrows that indicated they had more. What I use this for is to look at tree for the common errors. I can spot them right away. I know my family inside out, backwards and forwards, so this is very helpful. I also can see how many ways we really are related because my family has a lot of people that have second cousin marriages that are related to me in multiple ways that Ancestry just vomits over. It cannot handle those. So I've needed that, but the most useful thing for this pedigree is when I just read through the names looking for the elusive misspelling that might get me to my matches. I've overcome 3 huge roadblocks where I just couldn't figure out what my people were trying to spell. When they came to this country, they changed the spelling, and it's not just a simple matter of adding an E or changing a vowel. They really massacred their names, so I read through these for a sound-alike name and have overcome a lot of roadblocks with this. Okay, that was this down here. If I had scrolled down farther, I mean this screen really is busy. The surnames that are common will be shown. as well as all of the surnames in this 9,000 people tree. I could read through those, but that's not going to be nearly as helpful as the expanded tree where I'm only getting people in their pedigree. I'm not looking at their in-laws and their father-in-law and mother-in-law. The reason I chose this, I have common ancestor because we both have linked our trees. We're seeing common ancestors. And you're going to see grandpa and grandma, hopefully, unless somebody married, unless they were, unless they had half children, or if they, the tree has an error. I won't see it. But the thing I want you to see down here is view more possible connections. If you're related to these people in more than one way, you're going to see those words. They will not appear if you're not. And that's an important thing for you to know when you're looking at people, and you've got to look for those little blue words. And then finally, the very most important part of your match is your shared matches. And I think a lot of people that really don't like Ancestry DNA never found these words and knew that they were supposed to click on them, because with this, all the power of Ancestry is unleashed. Okay, this is a shared match. This is me and KF. I've got a note. I've got them in a group. Everybody down here is going to have an orange circle because these are my Howards. That's how KF is related to me. And, or my husband, as you can see, that's a blue icon, and I'm talking as a woman. Maybe you can tell that I'm a woman from my voice, maybe not. I am getting older. Notice that all of your filters are repeated down here, and those will only work on your shared matches, and your shared matches mean that both KF and I are related to these people through DNA, not because they're both they are in both our trees, but rather because we have segments of our DNA that are the same, and it was able to tell that. Again, I'm going to add them to a custom group, and then I'm going to add all of these people to my custom group. Shared matches have some limitations. Siblings through fourth cousins will not display or show distant cousins in the 5th to 8th group. Period. On the other hand, if I'm looking at somebody from the 5th to 8th group, they will show matches from any of the groups, although they don't typically turn up anybody. When they do, it's nice to have that information. Shared matches combined with custom groups is a very powerful tool in your search for information, and we're going to be talking next about how to create a group of a branch of your family, and that's what this whole series is about. And thank you for sticking with me so far.